It's election time in New Zealand, and in a couple of weeks we're going to be going to the polls to decide who should be the next government. With that in mind, here's 9 simple tips to help you better engage with your local MP about the issues that matter most to you this election. If you're out on the street and you see your MP or you're at a social function and you run into them there, don't pull them aside and try and have a 15 or 20-minute meeting with them about the things that really matter to you. Simply introduce yourself, let them know who you are, and tell them that you're going to make an appointment to see them in their office sometime in the coming days. They're going to be far more open to hearing what you have to say, and they're far more likely to remember what you have to say if you don't try and drag them away from something that they are already busy doing. Now, you don't have to wear your Sunday best when you go and visit your MP, but turning up in your sweaty gym gears is going to be a really bad idea. Always be polite and always listen to what they have to say, no matter what it is they're saying. You see, if you get angry or upset with them in this first meeting, then it's going to break any potential rapport that you're building, and that's going to be something that's going to make it a lot harder in future when you want to go back and talk to them about other different issues that really matter to you. And lastly, don't hang around too long. If all they remember about their appointment with you is that you took up too much of their time and it just dragged on and on and on and you were too repetitive, that is not going to work in your favour. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that because an MP has voted a certain way in the past, or they are part of a particular party, that they are always going to vote a certain way on issues. In actual fact, unless you know for certain that's how your MP is going to vote because they've told you that or they've stated it publicly, then you can't really be certain how they feel about issues and how they're going to vote. That's why it's important to engage with your local representative and let them know how you feel. Your MP already knows that these issues matter to you. If they didn't matter to you, you wouldn't be here in their office discussing them with them. They know, therefore, that these issues are probably going to inform the way that you vote. So you don't need to threaten your MP and say things like, if you don't vote a certain way, I'm not going to vote for you. They probably already know that. Threatening your MP in this way only really hampers your chance to communicate well with them, and it probably breaks down any rapport that you're building, which you're going to need in future if you want to go back and discuss other issues with them as well. If you've brought paper or handouts or a memory stick with information along with you to give to your MP, don't give it to them until the very end of the meeting. If you give it to them at the beginning, they're going to spend the rest of the time fidgeting or looking at that information, and they're going to be distracted and they're not going to be listening to what you have to say. If you're going to leave information with your local MP, always make sure that it's clear, it's straight to the point, it's in a nice, easy to read font, and there's not pages and pages and pages of it. If you've got a particular study that you want them to take notice of, perhaps just highlight the key parts of that study and put that down on paper for them. Or give them a list of bullet points that are really important and that communicate your point well. But don't give them screeds of paper, and don't give them something that's really hard and unruly to read, because the chances are they're just not going to take any notice of that. If you're going to see your MP on behalf of another group, like let's say a church group or a sports club or your local workplace, then let them know that. Let them know if you represent a group of people. Maybe you could take some letters along from other people in that group or something with some signatures on it, just to let them know that it's not just you who's doing the talking here, that there's a whole other group of people behind you who share the same views as you do. If you've got 3 or 4 different issues that are not related that you want to talk to your local MP about, it's always best to try and tackle those issues with them one at a time. So when you go into that meeting, they're not going to be bombarded with lots of different ideas about different things. They're going to hear one consistent message about one main issue. And if you do that, it's more likely that they will remember what you were saying, they won't be overloaded with lots of different information, and it's more likely that you're going to get a positive response. If you've got other pressing issues that really matter to you, save them up for another appointment. If you've got a personal anecdote or something that you've experienced personally about the issue that you're going to see your local MP about, share that story with them. If it's not your story, don't lie and claim it as your own. Don't make stuff up. That's probably one of the worst things you can do, and it lacks all integrity to do that sort of stuff. But if you've got a personal story that's really going to help an MP understand an issue more deeply, then share that story with your MP. So there you have it, 9 simple tips to help you better engage with your local MP about the issues that really matter to you this election. And don't forget, if you're over 18, get out and vote, and before you vote, make sure that you're well informed. Voting is a hugely important responsibility, and it's important that we do it with prudence. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time on 3 Minutes or Less. You, I'm talking to you. You need to go to our YouTube channel at lifetv.net.nz and become a subscriber. Then after that, you need to jump on Facebook and give us a like on our Facebook page too. Every week we're going to be posting a brand new episode of 3 Minutes or Less for you to enjoy and then share with your friends. See you next time.